Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Worth Jr. Wanted to talk a little bit about Trump. Is or isn't a Russian asset, using Putin's KGB playbook, and kind of where I fall on that, but how ultimately it doesn't really matter. The KGB playbook has always been to sow chaos in the world. It goes back to the Soviets, the Russians, Vladimir Putin, and certainly over his rule for the last 25 years or however long he's been the duly elected leader of Russia. I was struck by some quotes that I saw today. I was trying to read about Sir Keir Starmer going to meet Trump today. And then also I came across a meeting with some U.S. and Russian delegates in Istanbul and Turkey, and Putin's comments after that meeting. And also Chief Justice John Roberts issuing a ruling, the Supreme Court, allowing the aid freeze from the U.S. to continue, even though a federal judge has said you have to make these payments. So let's start there. A federal judge, Judge Ali, had ruled that the administration needed to keep making payments, aid payments around the globe, $2 billion worth of aid payments around the globe. And a while ago had given them until midnight last night to make those payments, those $2 billion in payments. And of course, the administration has refused to do any such thing. They are very much operating according to the, yes, you can order us to do something, but you can't make us do something maxim. So Chief Justice John Roberts said they don't have to, they can keep the freeze for now. And it was interesting because there is a Solicitor General, a Trumper, right? And this Solicitor General said that her name's Acting Solicitor General Sarah Harris said Judge Ali's order, quote, has thrown what should be an orderly review by the government into chaos. Yes, the federal judge is who threw all of this into chaos. That's awesome. And it reminded me of the quote I had just read from Putin after the Turkey meeting with some U.S. and Russian delegates. And what Putin said was, Putin claims that some Western elites are trying to disrupt the new dialogue between Washington and Moscow. He says, quote, we understand that not everyone is happy with the resumption of Russian-American contacts. Some Western elites are still determined to maintain instability in the world. These forces will try to disrupt or compromise the dialogue that has begun, the Russian president said. So Vladimir Putin and Russia standing firm against those who are determined to maintain instability in the world. It's so infuriating, but it's so ridiculous. And this is what I was talking about in last night's video. The only people truly fooled by Trump are Americans. You know, like whatever, a third of Americans actually fooled by Trump. Everyone in the world, Vladimir Putin, Zelensky, all of our European partners, our Asian partners, Xi Jinping, they all understand exactly how this guy operates. And they manipulate him accordingly. And unfortunately, Americans are the only ones who just cannot grasp what is happening to them. And I think it's because we were too sheltered from the real ways of the real world in America. You know, you have international business leaders who are Americans. People like Rex Tillerson, who was the head of ExxonMobil before Trump made him his first Secretary of State, and then famously fired him over Twitter while Rex was flying back from Africa, talking diplomacy and oil and all of that stuff. This was way back in 2017 or 2018, I forget. But Rex Tillerson is a guy who has dealt with international leaders, and he knows the ways of the world. And he's not going to be snowed by anyone. But Americans in general completely are. They don't get that the world works by people lying, people not doing what they say they're going to do, people, all these things that are just human nature. For some reason, a lot of Americans just cannot grasp that that is what Donald Trump does, and that is what Fox News does. Now, many of us can see that, but enough of them can't that it got him elected to the presidency twice. And no matter how often he says exactly what he is doing, but says, you're doing that, you're doing this terrible thing, or you're going to do this terrible thing that he himself is about to do or has been doing, tens of millions of Americans cannot see that. They're completely blinded by it. And this is another problem from Trump's first term, is that I don't think world leaders truly grasped the extent to which Americans are gullible in that way. And now they know. And people like Putin know. They are absolutely maximizing the damage that is being done to this country through Donald Trump, their Russian asset. He's had a lot of contact going back to the 80s. Trump has with Russian mobsters and over in Moscow itself, and with his building projects with Trump Tower, with who were leasing some of his units in Trump Tower and paying in cash, and these Russian mobsters. So the contacts are there, the relationships are there. They go back 40 years now. So of course he is a Russian asset, whether he believes he is or not. I don't think he's a full-blown agent trying to advance the causes of Russia. He's purely in it for himself. He doesn't care what the impact on the United States is. He just wants to be richer than he is. And he's just not smart. He doesn't realize that he's not going to have a country anymore. He's letting Elon Musk run everything. So Musk is another guy who's smarter than Trump, but he is also one to just have chaos everywhere, to say, okay, this thing isn't working, there, let's try something else. Now he can get away with that because he is the richest man in the world, but these are people's lives we're dealing with. So all these people being fired, I was looking at some Sharpies on some boxes. You carry out your one box of your belongings. Some of these federal employees or U.S. aid employees, some of the messaging they had written on their boxes, pretty funny. But this is, anyway, it was kind of stunning that Chief Justice John Roberts came down on that side. I know he's always got Trump's back, but still, I didn't see any basis for that ruling that the freeze could continue, based, I guess, on nothing more than, well, the government hasn't done anything yet to undo what they did here, so I'm not gonna make them. There's no legal rationale for that, but that's John Roberts. And Trump is Putin. He'd be like the star pupil for the KGB class, how to wreak havoc and sow chaos in the world. And he's even training his people, his acting solicitor general. So that's it for today. I'll probably get back on later tonight. We'll see how the meeting with Starmer goes today, and hopefully there will be something coming out of that. Hopefully he can argue the case for Great Britain and for Europe. And then Zelensky tomorrow. Probably a big nothing burger there, because I don't think Trump's going to give Zelensky anything that he wants. So Zelensky's not going to give Trump anything that he wants. But he is coming to the United States, so some interaction will be had, and there will be something to come of it, talking point wise. So we'll talk later tonight, and we'll see ya.